Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy TheGamingTrouge here. You want an alternative to Audible that talks about Bakugan on the Nintendo Wii? Or do you want your dance skills to become fresh and hip with High School Musical 3 Senior Year Dance? This game is golden. Well, all you have to do is pay me to talk about these games. Introducing Video Game Taco for Hire. You know what a Video Game Taco does? Talks about video games. Here at Video Game Taco Productions, we do not support any type of paperweight. Instead, I'm going to talk to you guys about my 3 copies of Super Smash Bros. Melee for 20 minutes. And just for the heck of it, I'll talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! On the original Xbox and Jeopardy on the Wii. Why did you look like you got hit with a Harry Potter spell? And I know, the allegations say that I do own Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13, but obviously I don't own Final Fantasy, gosh darn it. Call is on standby right now, and they both support me buying different types of Naruto video games. And hey, help support my Pepsi addiction. So come on down and I'll tell you why Halo 5 started World War III. So come on down!
Oh man, video games and their franchises just stand the test of time, you know? There's some video games that'll just have way fun gameplay and are addictive, while other ones are like movies that you can control, experiences that you can live in. It's kind of like a completely other world. But you know what my favorite is? You guys already know. It's the one, the only...
Call of Duty?
What? No!
Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney?
Well, it's pretty good, but it's not my favorite.
Final Fantasy?
Oh, I love Final Fantasy, but it's...
Whoa, guys, come on. It's Kingdom Hearts, right?
Well, I love all of those games, but it's actually Sonic. Sonic means the world to me out of every video game out there. Sonic has literally stolen my heart.
Does that make you heartless?
Nice one, Luna. Well, I gotta go to sleep. Good night, everyone.
Good night, Trouge.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
After a long day of video editing, I can now finally sleep. Original game had more character than he does in his actual game. Out of every single Sega game that released on the Nintendo GameCube, this is the ugliest game I've ever seen on the planet. This is one of the worst portrayals of Shoutout I think I've ever seen in my entire life. It's definitely character butchering at its finest. Basically taking out all the personality, all the care that was in Sonic Adventure and Sonic Heroes, and trying to make him a Dante knockoff. Nowadays, I still find that this game is better than Shoutout the Hedgehog. Yeah, I said it. I'm on someone's list somewhere. Adventure 2 is one of my favorite video games ever made, and what part of that fun factor comes in Shoutout the Hedgehog. A character that was so layered, so deep, and it was just so amazing to get a new take on a Sonic character. Oh my gosh. Take a linear story and give us 5 different endings that doesn't even mean anything in the canon. Take fun, fast gameplay and just replace it with gun gameplay that kind of works and kind of doesn't. I put as much time and effort into this game as I humanly can, and I have to say, this game is one of the worst Sonic games ever made. It shouldn't exist. This game is just too bad in too many areas other than the music, which is just a pass. Obviously, Shoutout's story is not over as he appears in Sonic Heroes and Sonic 06 and many other games. Nope, not that one. But out of all the games that I find him the best, and honestly, his debut game is the best story that he's ever been in. This is such magical. Me sitting back with a nice glass of Pepsi and just basically enjoying life, talking about what I love whenever I love. It feels so good because I have an endless supply of video games for me to talk about. So why don't we go and pick, I don't know. I already talked about Street Fighter Cross Tekken. What else is there to talk about? Stupid toy.
I can't believe he fell again. I have to get him all situated again.
It has been over 40 years since I've been to this dimension, and now I have taken over. You fool! I have sent 2 minions to destroy you already. A cop racer with some dogs, and a Wii U game with dog fights. You have forced my hand. Now it's time for me to take you to the fated place to end all of this.
Oh my gosh, ow, my back. Ugh. Ugh. That little goofball. Wonder what he did. Oh no, no, no! Come on, come on! No budge.
Oh, don't worry about me, old friend. I've been around here for 4 years, and I've seen you grow. But now it's time for you to take on the deepest challenge.
Well, I'm screwed. I'm quite possibly in the worst situation of my entire life. So, why don't we pick up a controller and play Shadow the Hedgehog? This game is stupid, dumb, and it's a piece of crap!
Whoa! You scared me there.
Sonic Adventure 2 is my favorite video game of all time. I have a lot of emotional attachment to this game. Not only was it an escape for me, but it was a video game that meant the world to me. The story was a lot more deeper than I experienced in any other game prior. The gameplay was so fun. Even when I got stuck at all the treasure hunting stages, I still loved this game. And I still rank it as among one of my favorite video games of all time. Even looking at it critically, the pros just outweigh the cons with this game. And my favorite part about Sonic Adventure 2 was the character arcs and the character stories and the whole type of narrative going all the way through. And that character really being Shadow the Hedgehog. Shadow just meant so much to me. He was the antithesis to Sonic. It was a little bit of a darker story. It was something that was just completely different from the happy-go-lucky platformers that I grew up playing. It was game-changing in my gaming taste. And later down the line, when I realized there was a Shadow the Hedgehog game, my interest immediately peaked. You could take the story in so many different directions. And by the time I looked up the trailer for Shadow the Hedgehog, Shadow the Hedgehog isn't just a bad video game. I personally believe it is one of the worst video games ever made. And replaying it for this video made me realize I might actually hate this game even more so than Sonic and the Secret Wings. Sonic and the Secret Wings was an original product. It didn't really tackle too many things from the previous games. It was after Sonic 06 happened, which in a way was a pseudo reboot to the franchise. But this game was a direct follow-up to Sonic Heroes, which in turn was a direct follow-up to Sonic Adventure 2, my favorite video game of all time. When it comes down to it, Shadow the Hedgehog irritates me on a level well beyond all the other crap I've ever played in my entire life. Halo 5 might have some competition with Shadow the Hedgehog here.
This makes no sense at all. He'd never leave.
Yeah, the elements of harmony are going crazy ever since he disappeared. I wonder if he's okay.
Yeah, we had plans to hang out today.
He better be, or he owes me $6 and some chocolate.
I've wanted to talk about this game forever, but it was out of fear of the fact that I had to play it using a certain dolphin. But despite that, I wanted to talk about this game forever. I have never physically owned this game, and I probably never will, but I want to at least own it eventually, just for the sole fact that I can look it dead in the eye and say that this game is one of the worst pieces of media I ever had to cover on this page. I'm sorry, I just had to get all that off my chest before we start. But yes, I do know that this game does have its fans, so much so that Sega is going to bring back aspects of this game to the next Sonic the Hedgehog game, which is really cool, and I'm personally very excited to see how they're going to be able to tie in some of the stuff to it. However, I'm not a fan of this game, released in 2005 for all major platforms at the time. Sega wanted to follow so many trends that so many other video games were doing at the time, and what it came up with was just basically a hodgepodge of garbage that never worked, that didn't blend together, and sadly assassinated one of my favorite characters in all of gaming. This is my review of Shoutout was definitely inspired by a lot of the edgier stuff in the 2000s. You know, games like Halo 2, GTA San Andreas, the Fable series, the Morrowind series, all these types of games that were leaving an impact on gaming at this point. They were taking aspects of these games and they wanted to make it into this edgy platformer, which you know what that means. Everyone's favorite pastime here in America. Guns. And lots of guns. You know, Keanu Reeves playing Shoutout actually makes a lot more sense now. So let's get this out of the way, the gun combat. I really like the idea of guns, if I'm being 100% honest. I think that you can make a good gun platformer. I've been recently going through Ratchet and Clank, and that is the perfect gun combat in a platformer. It just works perfectly. But here, they try to have like this fast-paced gun combat, and it doesn't really work because Shadow moves at the speed of sound. He is legit the Sonic in this game, moving super fast, and it's super hard to shoot anything, and sometimes that leads to bullcrap deaths. There's not even a manual lock-on feature like so many other games have. It's just an auto-fire that wants to do whatever the frick it wants. And if you think you can do some of your classic Sonic maneuvers like the spin dash and the light speed dash and like, you know, the typical Sonic stuff, you can do it, but it's been neutered to heck and back. You can't even really do any of the type of maneuvers that you can do in previous Sonic games. Heck, even previous games that Shadow was a playable character in, like Sonic Heroes and Sonic Adventure 2. Look, I think the gun combat could work. There's other games that can do combat with guns in a platformer sense that work. But for Sonic, I feel like that it just doesn't really work. There's not really a good alternative here. The gun combat just sucks. Do I really have to explain why a game mechanic like this sucks? And sure, you can make the argument that it's a Shadow game, but let's be real here, this game is not way much a spin-off. When I play Kingdom Hearts Days or Kingdom Hearts Coded on the DS, I still feel like I'm playing a Kingdom Hearts game. Like, the combat is still there. Yes, I'm not playing as Sora in Days, but he at least controls like how I expect someone like Sora to control. If I want to be completely honest, this feels like a really low budget idea for a next Sonic game. Like, let's add guns in here because, hey, everyone's doing guns. It makes no sense to me. And this actually is a pretty fun fact. This was one of the first video games to ever get the E10 Plus rating because of the gun combat, and among other things that are in this game, which I'm like, for a game with a new ESRB rating, why is this among one of the first video games? Remember when I said that one of the big inspirations for this game was the Fable series? Well, introducing multiple endings. You can make him the hero of all time, or you can make him the worst supervillain, or you can make him some robot that just is here. I really hate the neutral ending, but it's the least painful ending. Oh my gosh. Look, speaking from a level design perspective, giving the player multiple choices for multiple different endings is actually a good thing. I think you can easily make a solid game by basically having multiple different endings and multiple different ways of people experiencing the game. That's really cool. However, you can't do it effectively if you already have an established character that already has an established backstory and established personality, because that makes all the other endings feel very weak in comparison. Take, for example, Star Fox Command, very same situation. You have multiple different types of story routes that you can go with, and all of them just feel like they assassinate the Star Fox crew. Here, it's the same situation. No matter what decision I pick, it doesn't feel right for either Shadow or his cast of characters. At the end of Hero's side story, despite all the good I did, it doesn't really make me feel like he was a hero. He feels like a carbon copy. He feels like a faker, believe it or not. But what sucks is the level designs and the missions. Let's start with the level designs. Westopolis is the best level of the game because you have to play it so many times. It's just honestly just the best level of the game by comparison. And even by Sonic game standards, I genuinely think that the stage is actually really cool. I like these aliens basically coming out of nowhere and like destroying this like town. Like it will look really cool in like say Sonic Shadow Generations if they decide to bring back Westopolis. I would love to see this type of stage be a little bit more fleshed out. But every other level here either sucks on a like gameplay front or just looks ugly and just like the barest, ugliest stage I've ever seen in my entire life. Some levels have stupid slime that you keep jumping into. The other levels just boring. I don't know how else to describe it. This level design is not fun. It's just boring. And sad to say, the music in this game, like the level themes, suck so much. But if I'm willing to praise one thing, all the lyrical tracks in this game are certified bangers. Take a listen for yourself. They're good at setting the mood. They're good just tracks on their own. And I feel like out of everything with this game, the OST is one of the best parts about this game, which of course I've said in the past it was fine, but honestly it grew on me. I like the music in Shoutout the Hedgehog. But all of that pales in comparison to how I feel about the mission structure of the hero, the villain, or the neutral playthroughs. Let's start with the neutral playthroughs. Your goal in every level for the neutral playthrough is get to the end. What you have been doing in every other Sonic game since the very first one in 1990. Here, on the other hand, if you want to go and experience the dark side or the light side of the game, you have to do these absurd tasks that one of them became a meme for over a decade. I hate this. I hate trying to find some stuff in Sonic games, just the littlest things in order to get the best ending or the true ending or to even progress the gosh darn game. This was one of my biggest pet peeves of the 360 and PS3 versions of Sonic Unleashed. Having to stop in the middle of the boost formula stages just to find some bullcrap medals that in the Wii and PS2 versions you were able just to get like Power Stars and Mario Sunshine. This game right here tests you on every single fundamental part of the gameplay to go and get the the good ending or the bad ending. Now if you do good or bad, you fill up these meters above the screen. The red one will give you Chaos Blast, a move that destroys pretty much everything that's in its way. A nice little screen nuke to keep the pace going. I actually really like this. And then you have Chaos Control, which allows you to basically zap through the entire level at a pretty rapid speed. This is pretty good for missions that allow you to go and get to the end of the level. The only problem is, 90% of the time if you're playing both the hero or the dark side, you basically have to like walk on eggshells in the middle to make sure you got everything you need before you beat the level, or else you just messed up the one. I think I said what I needed to say about the gameplay. It sucks, it sucks, it sucks. But how about the story? It can't be that bad.
Look how pathetic they are. I don't have time for these humans. Out of my way. Coming through. Where's that fourth Chaos Emerald?
I made you, and this is how you repay me?
I am Shadow Android, the ultimate battle life form created by Eggman. You may have created me, Doctor, but I will now lead this empire and androids will rule!
The Enrichment Center once again reminds you that Android Hell is a real place.
Guess that means welcome to the next level. Let's go!
Oh my gosh, this story makes me want to drive up a wall. Look, all the characters in this story is just flat out garbage. There's no reason for all the colorful Sonic characters to be here because the plot doesn't evolve around them, despite you helping them out in either the hero or dark sides. No one else besides Shadow and the main antagonist really matter in this story. And why the heck is everyone swearing nowadays? Like, this is an E10 Plus game still, but it still just seems very off that they're saying such lines as
You! No! It's not true!
Look, I don't care about the other side characters as much. They weren't terribly assassinated, but they just don't do anything with this plot at all. You could remove them from the story and nothing would happen. But there are 3 characters that up and got assassinated or destroyed the universe that Sonic Adventure 2 built all the way back in 2001. First and foremost, the Gun Commander. Why is this character even here? Let's get some things out of the way first. The only human that was ever on the space colony Ark was Maria, but because she basically could not come down to Earth due to her illness, she couldn't make any other connections with any other life form. That's why she had such a strong connection with Shadow. Here, on the other hand, they want to say that, oh, the Gun Commander always knew who Shadow was ever since that they were kids. This spits in the entire face of both Maria's character and Shadow's character. If Shadow would have known those other humans on board, he probably would be caring more about both of them because they thought both of them would die. And he's such a jerk too. All he cares about is getting revenge on Shadow, despite all the good that Shadow has done in between this game and Sonic Adventure 2. And on that note, does he even remember the events of Sonic Adventure 2, where Shadow literally had to sacrifice his own life to save the entire world?
Moron!
Lastly, why is this shrimp the commander of Gun? You know, the same gun that offed Maria in Sonic Adventure 2? This guy has zero brain cells! If you were on the Ark when the entire attack happened, then you should know that Shadow had nothing to do with it. What a waste to our military and tax dollars. This is the state of the government right now. Character number 2, Black Bull from F-Zero. He says he knows Shadow.
What? What are you talking about?
He is also the leader of the Black Arms, which is the alien race that we're fighting against if you decide to go with the neutral or hero pathways. Apparently, these two swapped MySpace accounts and basically wanted to donate his blood to Shoutout the Hedgehog as long as he got a Chaos Emerald. And besides the opening, he's just a bland villain. Sean Shamel did a fantastic job with his voice though. He does sound threatening, but at the same time, he's just not that much of an interesting character at all, and we're supposed to actually kinda care about him given his history with Shoutout the Hedgehog. You know what, screw it, how about I just add myself into the backstory? I donated my blood in order to give it to Shoutout the Hedgehog for one measly follow on Twitter. This Final Fantasy VII Summon knockoff basically has a bit of power over our character, but then at the end he believes with all of his heart that Kingdom Hearts is light, and he battles him in one last final battle before the credits roll. At the time of writing and recording this, all the promotional stuff for Sonic Shadow Generations have been dropping, and from the little bits I've seen, I feel like they're trying to do their absolute best in order to make up with these two characters. But judging by this game's standards and with the other games in mind, these are still two of the most sloppy and two of the worst Sonic characters to ever grace the gaming industry. But what I really hate about this entire story is how it treated the main character that's on the front of the box, Shadow the Hedgehog. After the fierce fight with the Battle Lizard, Shadow falls down to Earth and gains amnesia. Later, Rouge the Bat finds Shadow the Hedgehog, and together they all form a team, known as Team Dark. During the events of the game, Shadow finds a robot of himself. A Shadow clone, if you will. It was mostly a throwaway scene to make you think, was Shadow actually a robot? Or is this still the same Shadow that we experienced in Sonic Adventure 2? At the end of Sonic Heroes, we realized that there is a bunch of different types of Shadow robots out there, and instead of just talking to Shadow, just trying to make sure that he is the real deal, this game uses it for its neutral story. And let me just say right now, making this game a multiple choose your own adventures just sucks. Nothing about this story works for Shadow's character. Why does Shadow care that he is a robot? He is the real deal. I mean, heck, you don't need to go that far deep, but just maybe, I don't know, do a blood test? Want some tests? Have Tails help you? Like, there's so many other ways to tell you that, hey, yo, you're not a freaking robot. And every interaction that Shadow has had with anybody in this game does not feel genuine because it feels like it's way over the top than like how he was acting in Sonic Adventure 2, but also it's just like his entire character was just switched off. He is just a soulless husk of Shadow the Hedgehog. He didn't feel like the awesome like anti-hero that like so many other characters have done really good. He just feels like a copycat of them, and he just feels like an empty, soulless husk with just nothing to offer him, and that hurts me so badly because you can make this entire story interesting. You can make the Black Arms a threatening race. You can make the Gun Commander more than just like a random human that just so happened to be in the Space Colony arc. You could do so much with this game, but unfortunately, they missed the mark wholeheartedly with this game. The story just sucks. I hate this entire story. I hate what it stood for. I hate that this was what Sega thought that we wanted, and it just assassinated his character. Shadow would never do any of the things that he does in any of these stories, other than maybe the hero story, because at the end of the day, he's still a hero. He still cares about the people of Earth. And yes, that explains the true ending, but it just doesn't even work from a pick your own adventure story. Like, because of the addition of the last story, this basically means none of your choices matter. So even if you wanted an edgy Shadow the Hedgehog, you don't get that ending. He's a good guy at the end. Yippee! This game had the same effect on me as Halo 5 Guardians did. A game that had so much hype behind it. A game that was gonna be epic and grand, but when it turned out, it made me just strengthen my love of every other game in the series because they did it better and because this game reached its pits. And don't get me wrong, I do love some aspects about this game, but I cannot overlook the cons with this one. It has my favorite character on the box, but that doesn't mean that I like it. Just because something has my favorite thing on it, I can still criticize it, and I can still give my opinion on it. I love Shadow the Hedgehog. If you guys watched my top 5 Sonic characters, he's pretty darn close to the top. And because of that entire segment I did, I wanted to demolish this game right here, right now. This game is no good, and I hope that Sonic Shadow Generations can undo all the damage that this game has done for me. So take your assassinations, gun agents, and aliens away from my planet as I demolish you all!
Time to unleash my 4-year plan!
really tired. I'm going to go take a nap. Not if I have anything to say about it. Kane, what the heck do you want? I just got done. Oh, my head. Wait, I remember this place. It's the Boiling Isles. Wonder what I'm doing here. I brought you back here when I possessed both King and Lilith with my magic. I was the one that controlled them. Using the body of Balos, I created your venture. I am the one they call Akuma. Why did you do this to me? Why did you have to put me through all the adventures I've went through? To put you to the test, of course. It seems that talking about anything and everything under the sun, your mouth is the most powerful weapon of all. And let me tell you something. You are very strong. I will send you back to your time, but you'll forget all of this ever happened, just like Sonic 2006. Well, fine. I will go back, but give me 1 minute. I want to reminisce real quick. I miss my old Anbu outfit when I was working for Lady Tsunade. But you know what? I'm glad that I had these adventures. I'm glad that I got to meet everybody in this world. Trouge, keep up the good work. You keep making people smile. It was a dream! You were there, and the LaCroix is gone! Special thanks to KattChatt for becoming a member of the Kingdom Keepers. If you guys want to get your name in the credits, link down below.